What's up, tribe? How you guys doing? Go ahead and hit that subscribe button, and I hope you like this video. This is Ready to Love, Season 4, Episode 3. So, I really still think it's Season 5, but I'm not even going to argue with nobody about that. So it's day 2, okay? It's the beginning of the actual one-on-one dates or group dates or whatever. And Tommy pulls everybody together in a little happy hour, okay? A little happy hour situation. And it's funny because he says later on, DC is known for their happy hours. And I was like, you know what? First Fridays used to be the shiznai. Now, I don't know if they still do it or not. Why? Because I'm old and I don't be doing all that stuff like I used to. But first Fridays, baby. Moving on. So he's bringing everybody together, and Tessie, is that her name, Tessie? Tessie was the first female to arrive, and Tessie was like, listen, I need to find out what the deal was. Like, why was I on the bottom last week? Like, what was the issue? What was the problem? And I need to know so that I ain't in the bottom again, okay? And I can appreciate that. I can appreciate the fact that she asked, and I can appreciate the fact that they were honest. One guy was like, listen, man, you ain't even had the chance to talk. Like, we didn't get a chance to talk. And she was like, okay, well, we're going to rectify that today. Corey was like, well, you know what happened when I finally came over to talk to you. That's when the ground opened up. And she said, well, what did you want me to do? Did you want me to, defend your honor? He was like, listen. If you had, I probably would have asked you to marry me in that moment. Now, listen, let me say something about Mr. Corey. Last week I was not feeling Corey, and I do still feel like Corey should have went home last week. I absolutely feel like Corey should have went home last week. But this episode of Corey actually did have me laughing. Is Corey still corny? Yes. Do I think Corey is here looking for love? No. But is he making for good TV? Yes. Which is exactly what I said last week, is that they're keeping him because he makes good TV. But neither here nor there. So he's going to be around. So we might as well stop fussing about Corey, because Corey's going to be around for a couple of weeks. I don't think he's going to make it to the end, but he's going to be around for a couple more weeks. Okay. So just go on. We know he's going to be around at least 2 more weeks because, see, I'm getting to the end. Moving on. We know Corey's going to be around for a minute. So as, everybody sort of kind of mingled in or what have you, and Tommy came through and, he said, listen, this is going to be a guy's elimination week. So the girls, the women have the power. And so, go ahead, mix and mingle, get to know a little bit more, and all that good stuff. So we had, Derek talking to people. He said, listen, I'm a nerd. I'm a little socially awkward. And so this is really sort of hard for me, but I know it's a men's elimination week, so I need to make some impressions and I need to make some connections with some people, So we had that. We had Carrington, where everybody felt like he was just on a job interview, like he was just giving them rapid fire questions, like they were being interrogated. And Carrie said that that's how she felt at the mixer, and she still feels the same way. Like her first impression of Carrington wasn't that great, and her second impression of Carrington was not that great. We see Sabrina sort of making some contacts. Now I gotta look at my notes. I was doing good with the names, y'all. And y'all know how I am with names, but it's 20 people. Shoot. Corey and Sabrina, they had a moment. Sabrina was like, listen, I think he is sexy, my love. I feel like, and I'm gonna ask, we do the panel on Saturday mornings with Ready to Love, but we have some of the people on our panel. We have Ida, and last week I know we had Stacy, who were on last season of Ready to Love. And I'm gonna ask them this morning, do they make y'all take a love language test so that you know what your love language is? Because I feel like all of them kept talking about what their love language was, and it just seemed to be too common of a go-to conversation. And I feel like maybe they make everybody take the test and know what their love language is. But anyway, Sabrina was like, her love language was touch. She asked Corey what his was. He said gifts. I ain't mad at you, Corey. Listen, again, get it how you get it and be honest about what it is. If you say that your love, now he didn't say getting gifts, he said gifts. So his love language could very well be giving gifts. You know what I'm saying? But I think at this point in our life, I think all of us should identify what our love language is. Like, we're older, we've been dating, we've done it wrong, obviously, because we're still single. And I think it's important to know what it is that I need in a relationship versus what it is that you need in a relationship, and how that can or cannot complement each other. So I'm not mad about it, but I'm just curious to find out if that's part of the process, the screening process, that they have to find out what their love language is. Anyway, but I'm gonna ask on the panel. Sabrina, not Sabrina. Oh, you know what? I said Corey and Sabrina. I don't think her name is Sabrina. I think I got that name wrong, y'all. No. Ah. The one with the short blonde hair that that like the finger wave kind of situation going, that had really connected with Walter. Her name is Sabrina. The other young lady that had like the curly natural fro, that's who was connecting with Corey, and they was talking about their love language, and she said her love language is touch. Now Sabrina had a conversation with Corey. It didn't go so well. It just did not go so well. And Corey, Corey doesn't know how to read the room, because like he said, he is a copy and paste kind of person. And so because all he does is he runs the same line, and he does things the same way in every situation with women, he doesn't know how to read the room and adjust, because he's not going to adjust, because he's like, listen, if I gave this line and it worked, I'm going to use the same line. But not realizing that you're talking to a different person, a different woman that has a different point of view, that has different, so the cut and paste thing is falling short on most of the women. Now, what worked out in Corey's favor this week is that Nemayam, I hope I'm saying her name right. She had a flat tire after the happy hour, and Corey happened to come across her, and Corey changed the tire for her, and in the process asked her out on a date, and she said yes. And that's really what helped Corey out, because I really feel like if that had not happened, I feel like Corey, because I don't know if anybody would have even went on a date with Corey this week. Neither here nor there. So they went on a date. Let me see, was that all the rest of the conversation that went on down to the happy hour? Carrie was asking Corey about his credit score, and she said, I don't know if it's too early to ask that, but yeah, it's too early to ask that. It is. And I understand that this is a dating show and everything is done in a microwave and it's done on an accelerated level, but I still feel like that's like a second, third date kind of conversation. Like, I'm not going around telling people what my damn credit score is. Do I think that if we're going to be in a serious relationship that's going to move forward, do I think that's something that's important? Sure. Do I think that's something I need to know before I go out on a first date with you? No. Not me. Now, maybe other people. Not me. Anyway. Because I ain't telling you my credit score. Good, bad, or indifferent. I ain't telling you. I ain't telling you what. I'm not telling you. Moving on. So, then we have the first of our dates. So, like I said, we know that Corey went out with Neam. I think it's Neam. And they went to the park. They did like a little hike in the park. And it was a cute date. They were sitting on this branch, and they were straddling. It was like one of those big trees like I had fallen, and they were straddling. I feel like Corey goes to this park on every first date, and I feel like he does the same thing on every first date, because again, he's a cut and paste kind of guy. It just seemed a little too convenient that they rolled up on this tree. Okay. But okay. He when it was time for him to go and he was getting ready to get down, instead of him helping her down, he jumped behind her talking about pretend like me and you are riding a horse. The what? If you don't get from behind me, sir. But he came across the right one, because Neam, remember, she's an artist, and she was like, all right, let's go with it. Like, I'm getting into my role. Like, all right, we ride to the forest, and what's happening? And then he didn't know what to do, because I'm sure he's used to women being thrown off by that. But when she was like, all right, let's do it. Okay. He was like, well. But she was like, listen, is Corey corny? Yes. Is he not my normal type? Yes. But he makes me laugh. And listen, I have seen men get play for less. Okay? So moving on. Then we had a double date. We had Courtney and Cornelius. I said Courtney, but it's Carrie. I kept calling that girl Courtney, but it's Carrie and Cornelius. No, it was Courtney. Courtney's the one I'm talking about with the fro. That's her. And then Walter and Camille, I was calling Camille Carey. That's what I was doing. They went on a double date. Now, what I didn't like about this situation was that Carey said that she purposely invited Courtney to keep an eye and to see her interaction with Corey, because Corey is her man. Now, y'all know I went through this last season with the old girl last year, and I have the same problem this year. Y'all are too early in this process, and it's too much going on in this process for you to be claiming anybody. It's not right. It's not fair, and it's kind of making you look a little crazy. If I must be honest, Miss Carey, because every time Courtney was doing something, you were giving these looks. Like, you were really sitting there like this woman was really flirting with your man, and how dare she, the audacity that she would flirt with this man in front of me. And I'm like, but he's not your man. Like, you have literally known him the same amount of time she has known him. One day. Or however long it took them to go on this first date. 24, 48 hours. Like, it was very... Carrie scares me a little bit, y'all, because I don't know, y'all. She giving me thin line between love and hate vibes. I just gotta go ahead and say it. She is giving me thin line between love and hate vibes here, because later on in the date, Courtney said something to Corey about feeling him or something, and Carrie was like, "Get your hands off my man," and everybody was like, "Hey," and she was like, even to the point where Walter was like, okay, well, it's time for me to go back to work. Like, I got to get back to the office. Sir, you are self-employed. You do not have to go back to the office, but you ready to get the hell out of there. They were talking about sex, and they were talking about how important sex is in a relationship. And Courtney was like, listen, sex is very... Well, they talked about religion first and spirituality. And all of them talked about, their relationship with God, which I think is a personal conversation. I mean, it's nothing wrong with sharing it. But again... I ain't telling nobody what their relationship with God is. That's between them and their God. I know what mine is. I know. He know me. Okay. But then they got on sex. And Carrie was like, she waiting. She waiting till marriage. She ain't trying to have sex before marriage. I don't know if I believe that. I really don't. I think you said what you thought people wanted to hear. I don't believe that. I do not. I think if Corey hit you up and was like, girl, come through, slide through and wear that red dress and them pumps, I feel like you would have on, some of the latest Victoria's secretions up under the red dress, and I think you'd be ready to get down with the get down. But okay, so Courtney was like, I'm not buying something I ain't tried on. Sex is very important to me. Walter said it is absolutely important, and I can appreciate where Walter was coming from. He was like, come on, we grown. Like, we grown. We're not about to sit here and play that game. We grown. Sex is important in a relationship. Corey's thing was, I would love to be celibate, but I ain't about to sit here and pretend like that's if it happened, if we slip up, if things go down, then it is what it is. And she was like, slip up. And then Carrie had a nerve in her confessional to act like Courtney was being hoish, and so was Walter. I said Baltimore, like Baltimore. No, they were being grown folk having a grown conversation about dating in their 40s and 30s, 40s, 50s, whatever, however they are, child. Anyway, I don't know. I got my good eye on Carrie. I feel like Carrie need to be eliminated next week. But anyway, she probably going to be around. You can always tell the people who getting all this screen time who going to be around for a minute. So I feel like Carrie going to be around, child. Then we have Zadia and Tyrone. They had like a little coffee date. They met down to a Starbucks. And Tyrone opened up about PTSD, which I thought was very important. I don't think it was very important. I thought it was, I can appreciate the fact that he opened up about his experience and his situation with PTSD, and he was saying how he started really working out to deal with the anxiety, and so they bonded on that, and I think they had a really good conversation. They sort of bonded on that. Then we had Carrington Carrington and Aisha went out. Carrington is giving me Ron vibes from last season. Very much I know I'm the shit. Y'all just need to catch up with me. I got all the right answers and all the right times. Um, I'm this nightlife entrepreneur. Aisha's a little bit older, and she is giving me my girl from last season, the DJ, the one that was claiming Ron. She's giving me she's from New York, and is it me, or did that New York accent get thicker and thicker as the episode went on? Like, I feel like that Brooklyn came out thicker and thicker. But they had a date. I feel like by the end of the day, though, Aisha was like, yeah, I think the age difference between us, I just don't think he's right for me. Like, he's a nice guy, but I don't know. I don't think this is going to work. I don't think this is going to work out. So they come back together. I feel like no, there was a group date with Dante, Naeem, Chevelle, Zadia, and Tessie, Tisa. Y'all know who I'm talking about. Tessie, I think it is. I'm going to get the names. Y'all know I'm going to get them. And it was an interesting day. Again, they started talking about sex and stuff, and Tessie wasn't very comfortable with that. She was like, I don't feel like I need to be talking about my sexual escapades out here in front of a group of people I don't even know like that. Naeem is growing on me. I wasn't really feeling him in the beginning when he was like, I don't want this, I don't want this, I don't want that. But she gotta have this, she gotta have that. I don't want this, I don't want that. He was coming off very hotep to me, and I didn't know how I felt about it. But he growing on me. He growing on me. I do like Dante. I didn't get a lot from him in this little scene, but I mean, he cool. I like him. And it was alright. It was a cool day. It wasn't nothing that really, I'm trying to think, nothing really stuck out. I didn't put nothing in my notes, so nothing really stuck out to me in this particular date. So the ladies come back into the lounge, and they're talking to Tommy. And, of course, Corey's name came up. Nobody is really feeling Corey except for the girl he went on a date with. Nobody else is really feeling Corey. Nobody's really feeling Carrington. Okay? They're not really feeling Carrington. And I ain't really hear too many people saving him. Even Aisha was like, yeah. Oh, that's right. Aisha had a car accident on her way there. So she wasn't in the room to say anything about her date with Carrington one way or the other. But what was interesting is that she said Phil was on the way to come and get her. Now, listen. I guess Phil is one of the guys. I don't remember writing Phil's name down, but I don't know. Maybe it's still 10 of them, child. I'm still learning them. But if he is one of the guys, I find it very interesting that you call somebody off of a show that you just met 3 days ago versus your brother, cousin, uncle, the insurance company, tow truck driver. I don't know. I thought that was very interesting. Anyway, so again, nobody really was there to defend Carrington. Courtney said that she has known Carrington for a very long time, and he's a good guy, and he has been looking for love for a long time. So she did sort of kind of have his back from a friendship aspect, but none of the women who had any romantic interaction with him really had anything to say. Tyrone came up. Now, come to find out, Tyrone had called Carrie. She said, I was feeling Tyrone, and I thought me and Tyrone had sort of connected. And I called Carrie. I mean, she said Tyrone called me and basically said, listen, I like you and everything, but there's some other women I'm interested in, and so I'm just not sure. I don't know if I'm going to have the capacity to add one more person to my roster. Now, from one aspect, I can respect the fact that he's being honest and saying, listen, I don't know if I have the bandwidth for this. From the other aspect, nobody wants that phone call, especially when you think you've made the connection. Nobody wants that phone call. I think it was Courtney again. Maybe it was Courtney. It might have been one of the other women because, again, it's 10 of them, y'all. Work with me. Or 9 of them now. She said, well, Tyrone did call me and he was explaining to me what it was and he felt really bad about it. And, he kind of felt some kind of way because he knew, you hurt somebody's feelings. And Carrie was like, but that's the conversation he should have had with me. Like, I get it and I hear that and I can appreciate that he felt bad, but he should have talked to me about it. Like, I shouldn't be sitting here guessing and you shouldn't have all the answers. And I can respect that. And she's absolutely correct. Because, again, I say, you don't have no other friends. You don't have no other friends. You couldn't call one of your other female friends, sister, cousin, uncle, to say, listen, I got this situation going. I mean, I guess they're sort of limited too, because I guess they can't really talk about being on the show. So maybe they can't really talk to too many people outside of the show. Maybe that's kind of what it is. I'm I'm gonna get at the benefit of the doubt. Again, I'm gonna have to ask Stacey or Ida about that. So anyway, the two names that came up was Corey and Carrington. And y'all know Tommy gave them the speech about, be respectful, do it in good style, do it in grace, because next week it's gonna be you, but have a conversation with them and be honest. So Tessie took Corey out, and they went to one of my favorite restaurants. They went to Busboys and Poets. I don't know I was trying to tell what location they were in. I couldn't tell what location they were in. I think I know what location they were in, but I can't tell. But it's about five or six of them around the area. But I think I know. Anyway, it's one of my favorite restaurants. I love, if you ever in the DC area, Busboys and Poets is a great spot. And it's a great spot. It's a whole vibe. It really is. The food is good. It's a whole vibe. They got a bookstore with blackety black books and all of that. Anyway, moving on. They have poetry readings. They had Nikki Giovanni about a week or so ago at a new opening that they getting ready to open up. I couldn't make it, but girl, I wish I could have, because Nikki. Moving on. See, I done went left. Let me get back here. Right here. So, and then Carrie went to go talk to Carrington. So what I thought was interesting, remember earlier in this, I said that Carrington was giving me very Ron vibes. Okay, well, his conversation went very Ron-like. It was very much, well, y'all don't know me like that yet, and y'all don't know what y'all are missing, and I know that I am the prize, and get on with this. Like, if you got something to say, just go ahead and say it. Like, I felt like he even came off sort of rude to Carrie. And I was like, sir, and I get it that at a certain point you realize that this ain't a real date. This is a you are not ready to love conversation. Like, I get that part of it. But the flip side is, but sir, do you have to be rude? Because again, you know that everybody is having this conversation. It was sort of like, who was the other dude that wouldn't even let Liz finish talking? He was like, I quit the show. Don't worry, you ain't got to tell me I ain't ready to love, because I quit. He wasn't quite that bad, but he was very much well, it's your loss, and I know I'm the shit, and oh well. So anyway, Carrington is gone. Corey lives to see another day. That's why I said I know we're going to see Corey for at least 2 more weeks, because next week is a female elimination. So he got at least next week's episode and the episode after that. So even if he gets eliminated 2 weeks from now, child, he lived for 4 weeks on the show, okay? Anyway, y'all let me know what y'all think. Drop it in the comments. Peace.